I love Warlocks, and Warlocks are good anywhere, but what is your version of the Warlock in this sci-fi fantasy realm?
Yeah, the Warlock is the Cryptist, and rather than having a patron that's your sugar daddy that you exchange your soul for a 1d10 cantrip, these are spellcasters that are occultists through and through, that have discovered ancient secrets of the galaxies, truths of the universe, forbidden knowledge, hidden practices, and depending on what secret they find, that unlocks unique power that they're able to delve deeper and push deeper into, and then grow in power. You know, we have this concept of cacophony, this chaotic, corruptive, fiendish power, and that is one of our subclasses, the cacophonous. And you're able to choose which tone of cacophony you're representing. So you can have in the same subclass your jester-themed mad clown, just as well as your acidic, corruptive, bug-themed cryptist, all in the same subclass. And then, of course, there is the shadowy figure that's manipulating behind the scenes, that has the power of their whispers and the power of their voice. Your classic Palpatine or Bene Gesserit, this is the shadow tongue. And they're able to use their voice to manipulate people, not just humanoids, but creatures of all varieties. And they're able to use their mastery of the very connection to harmony in order to sever that and turn individuals into undead thralls.
In the Overdrive expansion, our third subclass for the Cryptist is the Deepsworn. They're diving into non-Cyclopean temples filled with obelisks and strange gibbering writings and scrawlings. This is our Void-themed Cryptist, where they are learning secrets of the Abyssal Void. They're able to devour the life essence and almost the reality of their enemies, and almost disintegrate their matter, because all the Void wants to do is consume. And the final...
Same.
Yeah, same. The final Cryptist subclass is the Primalist. These Cryptists, they're uncovering ancient knowledge out in the wilderness of our many worlds. Perhaps they're finding runes on standing stones, or secrets whispered on the winds or amongst the elements. And they harness the fury of the elements, whether it's ice or fire or erupting earth and beyond, to be able to manipulate the landscape and hurl, whether it's lava or sharp ice, at their foes. Really, we needed a classic kind of elementalist, and weirdly, the Cryptist felt like the best fit for Neon Odyssey.
So there are cosmic powers that we have in the sort of universe of Neon Odyssey. And those things are real, even if most people don't know the truth of them. And the Cryptists are the people who will break all conventions, bust through barriers, and ignore taboos to find the truth behind those secrets. And if they can't find the right truth behind those secrets, they'll twist the truth until it's true. So this is a big mechanical shift, not just the narrative one. The Cryptist can choose their primary ability, meaning their spellcasting ability. They can either be a charisma caster or an intelligence caster. And I didn't mention this about the Esper. The Esper can also choose to be a charisma or intelligence caster.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
For the Cryptist, that is representing the two different ways that you sort of interact with truth and secrets and the power that comes from them. If you're an intelligence caster, you more lean to the side of figuring out the puzzle, unlocking its secrets, learning what it teaches you and how you can now reshape reality to your will using that knowledge and that power. If you're a charisma Cryptist, you're more along the lines of your truth will become the truth. And you impose that truth using the help of these secrets that you've discovered over reality. And that's kind of the expression of your magic.
That's fun.
Is, you know, you rip open a hole and all of these horrible tentacles come out of the abyssal void because you said it, and now it's true.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Tell me about these subclasses that we're getting.
So in book one, we have the Cacophonous and the Shadow Tongue. The Cacophonous, we're gonna have to get in a little cosmology. So there's two other planes, other realms in Neon Odyssey. One is the Harmony. The Harmony is the source of all life force and of sapient souls. Every person in Neon Odyssey who has a soul, it originates here. It comes down, gets a body, walks around, has a great life, and then when they die, their energy and their soul returns to the harmony and goes back into the oneness, maybe to be recycled, maybe to, who knows?
Yeah.
Hard to say. Then there's cacophony. Cacophony is a warping corruption of the harmony. And you might be noticing a lot of musical sort of themes and terms going through here. The galaxy is called the Stardust Rhapsody. If you look into the creation myth, it was sung into existence. And the harmony was one of the first things that came out of that song and sort of gave life to everything. Then people showed up, and people have these complicated things called like feelings, and a lot of those emotions get strong and powerful, and sometimes they get dark and negative, and that put some nasty feedback into the harmony, particularly when those souls that were saturated with that negative stuff went back to it. And so that corruption became cacophony.
Okay.
And that is where our fiends come from. We call them discordant.
And they are disturbing.
They are. They are very much. So cacophony comes in 4 flavors or tones: entropy, thrill, progress, and instinct. And so the cacophonous is a cryptist who unlocks the secrets of cacophony and taps into one of the 4 tones of discordance that make up cacophony as a whole. And they draw on that energy and sort of unleash it into the galaxy, or pull it into themselves and empower themselves with it. But that is where their magic comes from. The other subclass in book 1 is the Shadow Tongue. They are the whisperers of their truth to make it become true. They are the manipulators behind the scenes. They're the people who set up governments to do what they want the governments to do. And so they learn how to tap into the harmony in a way that manipulates the outcome that they want. And
Right.
they can use that to influence people's minds. They can use that to create servants. They can use it to sever people from the harmony and create undead servants. Because
wow.
that is where undead come from in Neon Odyssey. They're called the Silent because they are cut off from the harmony.
Which I think I already know what my favorite Warlock subclass is now. Then we got 2 more in Overdrive.
Yeah, so in the Overdrive expansion, we have both the Deepsworn and the Primeval. So the Deepsworn is somebody who's tapped into the secrets of the abyssal void and the creatures that dwell there, known as the Deep, and it draws their power from outside into the galaxy. They are very nihilistic, not in sort of outlook, but in expression. They are great at destroying matter, unraveling magic, pulling it apart. So they're excellent at things like counterspell and dispel magic and drawing that energy and then using it for themselves.
And then we got 1 more.
Finally, that brings us to the Primeval. The Primeval taps into the sort of primal magic side of things, which we haven't really talked much about yet. And they specifically are the raw, unfiltered, powerful, sometimes, wrathful, for lack of a better word, expression of nature. Erupting volcanoes, crushing avalanches, torrential downpours.
Oh, that's amazing.
Yeah, tidal waves. They're sort of the destruction of nature unlocked and brought into this subclass. And so they can empower their attacks, whether spell or weapon, with the fury of the natural element that they've originally unlocked. And most of them first find this power because they are exposed to some horrible natural calamity and survive it. And they're sort of marked or scarred by it. And then that becomes the first secret that they realize. And then they can expand that control to other aspects of nature as they learn more and decipher more secrets.